is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
First down, handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broaddus, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.
Mickey, did you wave at the camera?
I did.
You
did? Saluted.
I didn't see you. Okay. Can it be Friday already? It's Friday here at the Star. We are a little over 48 hours. I haven't done the math on it. Away from Cowboys versus Saints on Thursday night at AT&T Stadium. And puzzled looks from Mickey Spagnola and Brian Broaddus. They're doing the math.
I was trying to figure out 48 hours.
Yeah. 7:20 kickoff on Thursday night as we talk to you at 9:34 on a Tuesday morning, which is actually a Friday morning by the Cowboys work week because, of course, this is a second straight Thursday game. And then they get the mini bye on the weekend, and then the Philadelphia Eagles come to town. We're in the middle of a 3-game homestand for your Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. How about that?
Better take advantage of it.
Every single one of them counts, too.
They do.
Every one the rest of the way.
And according to Jerry,
Oh, they're all must win now?
Every play.
Yes, Brian, I've subscribed to your theory now.
That's right. They're desperate.
Please, come my direction, guys. Come my direction.
They're desperate.
Yeah.
And Jerry,
thank you, Mickey, for saying I'm desperate.
Mickey hates the desperate theory.
Although Jerry on the radio this morning on the Fan locally, how was it phrased? It was about being a desperate team. They were more desperate when they were, what was the record, 3 and 5? Yeah, than they are now. But they need to keep that desperation right now because it seemed to work the last 3 weeks.
You know, the other interesting thing, and I think he's right about this because everybody kind of misconstrued what he was trying to say on Friday and again this morning when he was comparing some things to the Super Bowl. Right? And it's like, no, he's not saying this is the Cowboys Super Bowl because if you win, then what do you got to play again next week?
I knew he was going to question the Super Bowl thing.
Right? You got to play against that. What he was trying to say is the importance of every play in the game is like a Super Bowl.
You have to treat it like a Super Bowl play.
Yes, it's
win every
think
play.
about this. When you watch baseball for 162 games, you kind of casually watch, you
fall asleep,
whatever.
But
when you get to the playoffs, every pitch is important. You're locked in. Oh, he threw a curveball. Oh, why did he throw over that plate? The ball should have been in the dirt because he had 2 strikes on the guy, right? You go through that. And that's what he was trying to point out about this game, that every play, every pass, every fumble takes on the importance of a Super Bowl because you're playing a team that just won 10 straight games.
Okay.
So you're buying that?
What? That every play is that important?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll be locked in on this game. Right?
Yes.
From
No,
our
I think
standpoint.
so. But what if they go out and just flop?
Well, then you got to
what do
play next week.
Then what do you have?
It's not over.
I know, but does that mean every play the following week is the Super Bowl play?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like the old Dwayne Thomas quote. If this is the ultimate game, then why do they play it again next year?
Yeah. And you can't have the ultimate game in game 12.
That's right.
See,
but you can treat each play like it's the ultimate play.
Last Friday, though, Jerry was talking about the importance of what we can prove to ourselves about playing well in this game.
Sure.
Of course.
That this team's coming in and they've got all the accolades and we're playing well. It's kind of a statement game for us, you know.
Does your mission change if you get blown out?
But what happens if you lose?
Yeah.
It doesn't change. It can't change because
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Got Washington and Philly playing each other, though.
Hello, Kent Garrison.
They're going, hey, guys, they're going to gain a game.
And one of those have to lose, right?
Yeah.
They don't have to. They could tie.
Philadelphia.
That's a good point.
Philadelphia's got the Rams and also the Houston Texans left, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Who seem to be marching on, huh?
They are marching on.
I thought they were going to be in trouble last night, and then they put their foot on the pedal.
Nope. I don't know.
8 straight.
97 yards?
Is that what it was?
You just want to argue
the
with me
touchdown
right
run.
now,
No. I hear what you're saying.
I'm from the theory of all win, and I understand what Mickey's saying, but and also I'm trying to figure out though if they lose this game, what does that mean?
That means you're 6-6, and you got 4 games to go.
And in all likelihood, Philadelphia beats Washington on Monday night, and everybody's 6-6 with 4 games to go.
Yeah.
And the object is to get in the playoffs.
Right. I agree to that.
And the easiest way to get into the playoffs is how?
Win the division.
There you go.
That is. But Mickey will tell you got wild card hopes too.
You do.
Well,
And
you do.
You get a home playoff game if you win the division.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking
just
about
go
right
ahead
there.
and take care of that.
Take
one.
care of that division.
Yeah.
And how many wins will it take to win that division?
Maybe 9.
You going with 9?
So that would be 3,
Just right off the
3
top of
and
my
2
head,
down
yeah.
the stretch.
I was going to say 10.
I
gotta
think
go
I'm
4
going
and 1?
I think you got to win 10 myself.
Although,
You're gonna say Washington or Philly wins 3 of the next 5.
see, I can't figure
And
out.
they're playing each other a couple times too,
twice.
right?
There's
Yeah.
2 losses in there. I can't
Somebody-
figure out.
I think 9 might do it.
Can you figure out Philadelphia? Because wow, they beat Washington, right?
No, they beat
I
the
mean,
Giants.
The Giants, excuse
They
me.
should've lost
Is
that
anybody
game.
giving them a ton of credit for that? I mean,
No.
Okay.
That's
here-
what I'm saying. But they improved. They won a game, and it's like
You're
if
going to
you-
have to beat that same Giants team.
If
Yeah,
you read
on the road.
if you read
Yeah.
stuff, everybody's like, okay, everything's great now. You know, they figured out who their running back is, and they're overcoming their injuries. When the week before, it was like, well, what happened last year? They overcame all these injuries, and now this year they can't overcome their injuries. Did they lose the formula?
Okay.
They are defending Super Bowl
Philadelphia.
champs.
Okay, here's what Philadelphia's 5-6.
Yeah.
They play at home against Washington. We're going to give them a W for that. 6-6.
Brian, you just
Okay.
gave these shrug emoji.
At Dallas. Okay, well, we won't
Give
pick
them an
that one
L
yet.
there.
All right.
I got to get through this week.
At the Rams.
L.
That puts them at 6-8. Houston 6-9.
So you're saying
At Washington 6. It won't matter.
okay, so
No, but look at their schedule.
No, but if you
No
do all right,
faith.
now if you do Washington's schedule,
Okay,
that way.
but okay, just to review, in a nutshell, Philadelphia's got 2 games.
oh no, you
against,
just eliminated. You're right.
No, okay, 2 games against the Redskins, and then they play at Dallas, at the Rams, and home against Houston. Okay, which will probably be a game that will matter to Houston, second to last game of the year, because Indianapolis has been playing well. And,
Yeah, and then you've got
it's
to play
still-
Indianapolis too.
Right.
All right, so
All
what's
right,
Washington?
So now let me
Washington's
go back
a
over
little
here
bit easier, I
to
believe.
Washington.
Is anything? Do we know that anything's
Washington plays 2 games against the Eagles, okay, sandwiched around this schedule. Giants win. At Jacksonville, win.
Frauds.
At Tennessee.
Win.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe,
No,
maybe not.
Tennessee. Come on,
That's
really?
Colt McCoy.
That's the most embarrassing loss you've had this year.
They lost their quarterback and they had
mean,
an offensive line.
They came, the
that's-
following week they beat the Patriots, did they not?
Yeah, but everybody who's left the Patriot organization, it's gone somewhere. Detroit's beat the Patriots, and so has Tennessee.
But let's say Washington and Philadelphia split their 2 games. Okay, so each have a win. Washington has games against the Giants and at Jacksonville. That gets them to 3 wins, regardless of what they do against Tennessee.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's 9, right, for them?
that would be 9 for them. And if they beat Tennessee, it would be 10.
Okay, based on just pure projections, I'm going to say I'm going to go with 9.
Okay,
Go
I
with
hope you're
9.
right.
Yeah.
Do we need to
They
review
have
the
to play-
Cowboys schedule?
They have to play Jacksonville. Is that what you said?
Yes, they're playing at Jacksonville.
And they're firing everybody, right?
Right, that's right. They benched Blake Bortles.
That's
And
what I'm
they
saying.
Changed offensive coordinator.
Yes, they did that.
Right.
Whatchamacallit's son, right?
Yeah.
Hackett.
Hackett.
Yeah.
Which, unfortunately, in the morning news this morning, the first paragraph said they fired their offensive coordinator,
Paul Hackett?
Nathaniel Hackett, and then the second quarter is, and not only are they changing quarterbacks, they got rid of their former Cowboys offensive coordinator,
Oh, no.
Paul Hackett.
No.
And
No,
it's like,
they said that?
oh, it was paragraph to paragraph.
Whoa.
It's like, oops. Thanks. See, and that's why I tell you, got to have good editors like you.
Thanks, Mick.
Right.
Appreciate that.
And then just to review the Cowboys' remaining schedule, New Orleans on Thursday, and then home against Philadelphia at an Indianapolis team that has
Resurgent.
won 5 in a row, going on 6 in a row, because
Hard
I think
team
they
to
play
sack.
Jacksonville on
Yeah.
Monday or Sunday.
Yeah.
And then Tampa Bay and the Giants.
I'm not saying they're just going to back into this thing, but we got to see what Washington is without Alex Smith. They didn't win the first game without him. They've got injuries all over the roster.
Offensive line, yeah, for sure.
I mean, what are they? We don't know at this point without their quarterback. So Philly could catch on. Who knows? But like Brian said, that's some tough games ahead.
Hey, I wrote off
see.
I wrote off the Eagles when I came in from putting Christmas lights out on Sunday afternoon. I saw they were trailing the Giants 19-3.
Yeah.
And then I got finished with the next row of Christmas lights. I came back in and they had won. So they were back in it.
That's this league.
I might have to hire you to put mine up.
No, I don't. I put them out. I don't put them up. They go on the sidewalk. I don't get on a roof.
That all being said, this is a must-win, Mr. Broadus.
Really?
Yeah, you got to go into this thinking
So is it over?
if they lose,
Yeah.
no, it's not over. But you got to have that. You got to have that
You
mindset.
can't. You
have
can't
to have
lose
that
the
mindset.
games. That's the thing. You can't. You can't lose in the games.
Yeah, so you've got
The
no
easiest
chance.
path is just win.
So are we saying you've got little chance against the Saints unless you go in with that mindset that this is a critical game that you may or may not must win?
I think.
No, I just think they've had a certain mentality the last few weeks. He disagrees with it, but I think they've had a certain mentality and it's worked for them. I really do. I think they've kind of had that urgency there. And
what Jerry is saying, you got to be on point every play against a team
Exactly.
like the Saints.
no question about it.
That's the
because
point.
they can burn you on any given play.
Sure. They can embarrass you. This is a team that will try and embarrass you if they can.
And that heightens your senses too. Just knowing how good a team is that you're facing doesn't mean you don't think you can beat them, but your antennas are up just a little bit more.
There's no slack.
You can't relax.
You take the mentality they did in, 2009 when they went out there and beat them 24-17.
Yeah.
The Marcus Ware game.
You wish
Yeah.
you had DeMarcus Ware rushing. That would
You
help.
got DeMarcus Lawrence.
Well, you might have Taco rushing now.
Yeah, well, give us
I made
an
that
update.
mistake last week, though.
What?
Taco playing.
Taco.
He's getting closer. He was closer last week.
Mickey, you going to tell me he's going to play this week?
Yeah, what do you
He was
got?
full on Monday.
Well, that's a good sign.
And by the
right there.
way, why don't we have injury reports earlier in the week on these Thursday weeks?
I don't want to understand why they skipped Sunday.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do one. So
Yeah, I
That's what
know.
I'm saying. Why doesn't the league make them do one
They
on
should
Sunday?
make them do one.
Because of games?
I don't think the league office is open Sunday. So I don't
That's
think
another. That's another thought.
Considering they
No,
play,
I think that's,
like
that's
you're
what
gonna
it
make
is.
them
considering
work
they
on
play
Sunday?
games. Yeah, considering they play games on Sunday.
Yeah. No, you're right.
No, that's why.
They know the train schedule to Connecticut, though. I promise you that.
They don't have it processed.
Well, they had a game on Monday.
Yes. So anyway, I think the key things. I mean, we knew Austin wasn't ready, Irving wasn't ready, Sean Lee, who else? Swain, Jeff Swain. Those guys weren't going to play. So the key thing is Taco looks
It's
like
Sway, by
he's
the
good.
way, with an M on the end.
He's been
Swain. I
Yeah,
know.
there you go.
Sorry. Gosh, it should be Swain.
should be.
Zach Martin
This is
was
mom and dad
limited. That was good as they listen.
probably
I know.
are.
And I
Sorry about that, folks.
I really like them. They're really nice people.
Very nice.
Zach
Mr. and
Martin
Mrs. Swaim.
was at least limited, so he was out there. Suafilo limited, so at least he was out there. Connor Williams full, so he's out there. Tyron Smith was not out there.
We worried about that one, guys?
I am now.
Jerry indicated probably looking at game time again.
Like last week.
Yes.
When I didn't like it when he said like last week because he wasn't
Yeah,
playing.
Because last
Little
week
different.
wasn't good.
yeah. We'll see.
So,
We'll see.
But again, they'll probably have him listed as DNP. I don't know. Maybe today he does a little something, and he'll be questionable for the game. And those guys get all excited on the radio that we don't get the accurate injury stuff. And it's like he's not obligated to tell the Saints anything, let alone you.
That's all he's obligated to do right there
Right
is
here.
on that
And
sheet
that's
of
all you're
paper.
gonna
And
get.
so will we get one tomorrow for the walkthrough as well? Since it's a Thursday game?
We'll get the final
We usually get the final
You'll get
on
one
Friday.
today, and that's it.
because it says
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday,
Yeah.
Wednesday game status.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then we
This
do
is
get
today.
an extra one
And we
on
got one last week.
on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right.
And the Saints, the only person they had not practiced was Teron Armstead, tackle.
Yeah.
He's got a pec. Everybody else they listed was limited.
Yeah, Bushrod started against Atlanta in that game.
And that offensive line, a strength of that team.
Without question. Without question. This is one of the better offensive lines that the Cowboys will face this year.
Is it the best one they've faced, you think?
Yes.
So far?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it will be. And really, if you look at it, Ryan Ramczyk against DeMarcus Lawrence will be a very good matchup. Ramczyk only in his second year out of Wisconsin. Wisconsin's done a great job putting linemen in this league. But Ramczyk he's a big, strong, athletic guy, and he can match up with Lawrence. This will be interesting to see how the plan of attack that Lawrence takes against him. Because usually Lawrence can out-athlete and out-power guys. This guy's kind of a combination of both, and then he's got this Larry Wolford next to him, and that to me, that's a big, strong guy too. So that right side of that Saints offensive line has got some power to it, and then some of the good combinations they've been able to work is when they've been able to get Crawford inside in some of those nickel rushes, and then have him penetrate, and then have Lawrence play on the move. So the Saints are able to match up. Max Unger, their center's pretty good. We need to see about, like I say, the left tackle spot.
So
Bushrod would be the guy that he would be the weakest of Andrus Peat as their guard too. There's another. They've got some really big inside guys, and that's kind of the same plan that the Cowboys have played throughout their time here. Is get the big inside guys. They have to keep the front of the pocket clean for Drew Brees because he can't see. He can't see over the line, so he has to move. And they have to keep the front so he could step up and make throws. That's the key.
And that's why I referenced Irving at the end of the show yesterday, knowing obviously he's not back to practice, but a guy like that it could be a huge havoc.
Yeah, if you win, you win and you get inside on Brees. That's what you have to do. But it'll be tough. Like I say, these guys are really a very good offensive line.
So you just do-si-do and put him on the other side.
Who's that?
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Put him on the right side. They've done it before.
They have done that before. Let's see if they do that.
If you're banging your head against the wall on the left side, go right side.
How do you guys want to play against Alvin Kamara? How do you want to handle him? I'm just asking.
No, it's a great.
I got a plan. I got a plan if you're interested.
You know that ice skating thing that happened?
The ice skating thing.
With the figure skater?
Nancy Kerrigan.
Are you serious?
That's like entering the stadium?
That's the best way to handle him.
Nicky, I love your plan, by the way.
I mean, think about it.
That's an outstanding plan.
He is one of the
best.
best.
Make a Tanya Harding reference on this show?
Yes, we just did.
Wow.
Look, folks, if you don't know what Mickey's talking about, look up Tanya Harding. Yeah, and you'll figure
Nancy
it out.
Kerrigan, 1994.
I was in Detroit.
24 years ago.
I was in Detroit, and that's when the championships were being held. I was in my hotel room. We were getting ready to play the Lions, and that came on the news. It was
really
that whole thing. Yeah, the championships were in Detroit, the skating championships, and it happened at that time. And I happened to be in the same city.
I had no idea we were going to talk about Tanya Harding.
How did you find that fast?
He's on it. He is on it.
He is on it.
Wow.
How do you handle? I mean, he's impossible.
You know what we need to do? We're going to come back, and Brian Broaddus is going to tell us.
I'll give you an idea.
Seriously, how we handle Alvin Kamara and the New Orleans Saints. And we take your phone calls when Talking Cowboys continues.
Essilor has been helping Cowboys fans see better since 1972 so they don't miss a moment on the field. Get glasses with Essilor's best vision, clarity, and protection with the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package. 3 innovative technologies in one lens. For a limited time, you can double your lenses for free when you purchase the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package and get a second pair of frames. Find a participating eye care professional and details by visiting EssilorUSA.com. That's EssilorUSA.com. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're like me and you love... if you have a thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract, just...
Get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
A man's Stetson doesn't just protect him from life's elements. It projects an unstoppable and legendary spirit, just like the men wearing silver and navy on the field every Sunday. Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. They are still the official crown of all self-respecting cowboys. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find Stetson hats in the Pro Shop or at Stetson.com today.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine being shipwrecked on a desert island, alone. Glass-like curls of surf pound the shore with Dr. Pepper-colored waves. Surrounded by desire, but you can't drink it because it's the ocean. Fish live in there. The only thing you want is Dr. Pepper, and you can't have it.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
In football, often the quickest plays mixed with some good old-fashioned ingenuity are the key to winning. Kind of like Tommy John's horizontal quick draw fly. It's the most intuitive, simple, and speedy feature that other underwear brands just don't have. Shop exclusive Cowboys underwear at TommyJohn.com/Cowboys.
That thing's really important, too, by the way, when you're 2-minute drill. I mean, at the 2-minute warning.
Is that right?
When you got to hurry and get back in time.
Oh.
No fumbling around.
Yeah.
God. Thank you, Mickey. You know what you can do? You can join us every Friday and Saturday night this holiday season for Christmas at the Star, presented by Albertsons and Tom Thumb. You said you went to East Hampton the other day?
Sandwich shop. Yes.
And did you get in the Christmas spirit, the holiday spirit, just walking through the Star?
Actually, last night I did when I was going home, and the lights were on, the blue lights were on the tree, and I was getting ready to take a picture, and I said, oh, I'll see it tomorrow.
By the way, how do you feel about
I'm guaranteed tomorrow.
God,
the Star is the
true.
one place where blue Christmas lights work. Mm-hmm. You know?
Oh, no,
it's
they
perfect
do
here.
it. If you come out, I mean, they've got the Tostitos Plaza looks great.
I'm not a fan of blue Christmas lights when it's in a neighborhood filled with red and whatever you call it.
Got to be a little
clear.
different out there, don't you, Bill?
Not when you're like my neighbor and you stick out like a sore thumb with the ugly blue Christmas lights.
You told him? Have you ever walked up to your neighbor and said those are awful lights?
No, but every time it's actually
seriously,
it's actually a street over for me. It's in our neighborhood, but it's a street over. And every time I drive by, I say, that is so ugly.
Do you want to stop?
I want to.
I
want to stop and change
Bill,
his
you're
Christmas
kind of an
light.
opposing guy. Why don't you just get out and do something about it?
Is he just a monster Cowboy fan? What's the reason?
I don't know it. No, because they're ugly lights.
There's those dark blue ones, right?
Yeah, and they're just not good.
We had a family on our block that they would put up those blue lights, and for some reason, to me, they were kind of depressing.
Let me ask you this.
It made me think of a funeral home for some reason.
Are they blue and white?
What?
No, they're just ugly blue.
No, just
There's
blue.
no white. There's no white.
Might be a Jewish family putting up lights.
Okay.
Oh, well.
All right. I take back everything I said.
Just saying.
My point is,
I was going to save that for the break.
My point is, they're great out here. I love the blue. I love the blue Christmas.
Yeah,
and it doesn't make for a blue Christmas out here at the Star.
Sometimes families put up blue lights.
And I can tell you, in my neighborhood, that wasn't
Speaking
the case.
from experience.
And so you wanted me to walk into that trap.
I just wanted to see where you were going to go with it.
Okay,
Rob hosting tomorrow.
If we had 22 houses on our block,
oh, here we go.
20 of them, people were either Polish or Italian.
There you go. There you go. All right.
Let me tell you, so Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Tell us how you handle Alvin Kamara. Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Mickey will tell you he's their second leading receiver, is what he'll tell you all about Alvin Kamara. And when you watch Alvin Kamara play, I think as great as he is as a runner, he's just as great as a pass catcher. It's very obvious by the numbers. It's very obvious by the way the Saints use him. I think you have to treat Alvin Kamara differently. I think this is like when you start talking about how do you play guys like Zach Ertz, those guys, the tight ends. We talk about, safeties and this, that. You treat him like a wide receiver. I think the Cowboys have to treat Alvin Kamara like a wide receiver, and I'll tell you how they treat him like a wide receiver. We haven't seen very much of them playing dime package stuff. We haven't. I mean, it's been primarily, a lot of single high stuff, a lot of man underneath, but it's been a lot of Anthony Brown. I think this is a game where you take the extra rusher off the field or take the linebacker off the field. We talked about three-man line. Mickey's right about that. I think you have to play that way. I think you have to treat Alvin Kamara like a wide receiver. I would not be one bit surprised. And then if it was me just looking at it, I would say I would put Jordan Lewis on Alvin Kamara. I would have him cover him out of the backfield. If they put him in the slot, you got a matchup there. If they put him wide, you got a matchup there. But I'm not saying you could probably do it every single down. I think you're going to have to find a way to get linebackers involved and stuff. But if it comes down to crucial down and distance situations, I'm treating Alvin Kamara like he's their second best wide receiver behind Thomas, considering they've got all these other guys they throw touchdown passes to. Treat him like a wide receiver. Cover him like a wide receiver. Use your dime player to cover him. Well, I think that's a plan.
Because they do treat him like a wide receiver. He's not just a bailout, let's throw the screen to him,
right?
Beat the blitz type of guy. I mean, he is their offense in a lot of ways, and Michael Thomas as well. But
yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, have you seen other teams do that?
No, not really. I think it's one of those plans where I'm going to try something unconventional and hope that it works. I'm going to be Fritz Shermer back in the day and play big nickel, and I'm going to do things. I'm not going to give him the same look over and over again. I'm sure Kamara sees his shares of safeties and linebackers, and he just eats them alive. I just think you have to. They use him so many different ways in the passing game that I think you have to treat him like he's a big weapon for them. And if you take your best cover guys and put him on his ability to stop him from catching the football, I think that's I would rather die that death than die the death of trying to cover him, play him in a way where he's going to have 8 catches for 80 yards and 2 of them are touchdowns. I don't think I can play that way.
Plus, if you zone him and you get him in space, good luck
night
trying to tackle him.
Good night.
If he catches the ball.
Yeah, and Jordan Lewis might not be the best answer for tackling, but I'm thinking about size for size, and I'm thinking about coverability for a guy who can make plays.
Yeah, that was the one thing I thought of when you mentioned his name, is that Jordan's like $195. He's kind of a slender player.
But long arm guy,
yeah.
You try, if he can hang on, people get to him, that kind of thing. But I just don't think you could play Alvin Kamara straight up and expect to have good things happen.
Well, let's put this in perspective. Michael Thomas is their leading receiver. Matter of fact, the second leading receiver in the NFL with 86 catches for 1,080 yards already. Mm-hmm. Their second leading receiver is Alvin Kamara with 57 catches and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The Cowboys' leading receiver is Ezekiel Elliott with 47 catches. So that kind of gives you an idea of how much they lean on him. Because if I remember correctly, this last game, it was a bunch of rookies.
Yeah.
And the rest of the wide receivers, right?
4 undrafted guys that they had in there.
Yeah.
Scored 4 touchdowns, I think.
Yeah.
When you talk about
good.
We talk about focal points, it's those 2 guys. For Mr. Breeze.
So they better make sure that Drew Brees is not standing in the pocket with his arm up in the air and taking all these little baby steps, waiting, and then throwing somebody that's wide open. They better get in his face. Maybe they can get Too Tall Jones to play one game. What do you think?
We mentioned that yesterday.
I like the idea so much I repeated it.
The run-pass mix for the Saints.
Pretty balanced, aren't they?
Well, you look at it statistically, and the Saints are the second most rushing attempts in the league.
Right.
And now on the contrary, their defense, opposing teams have the fewest rushing attempts against them.
Play behind.
Exactly. And so my question is,
score and then run the ball.
Is that stat skewed?
Right.
Or when the game is on the line, how much are they a run-pass 50-50 mix?
Yeah.
Or how close to a 50-50 mix? Or is that stat skewed because they are ahead and they're just running the ball late in the game and they add to the rushing total? And one of the reasons I ask that is their yards per attempt rushing is 20th in the league.
Yeah, I think that it's more about them trying to really balance their team. I really do. And I don't think but you're right, though. They get a lead and they force you. They make you one-dimensional by the way they play offense. You guys covered a Super Bowl team here, several Super Bowl teams that threw early and ran late.
Right.
And I think that's really the game plan that Sean Payton would like to play with. I mean, they haven't had the success. They've had some games where they've just given up and trying to run the clock out. But, I think if the New Orleans Saints had to go into a game and run the football, I think they damn well could go in there and run the football, especially with that offensive line that they have.
If you look at the Thanksgiving game against Atlanta the other night, they tried to establish Ingram early on the ground, first drive of the game, and set it up that way. They try to be 50-50 in a way.
Yeah,
they really do.
Yeah.
And they've got two backs who can get it done, and they've got an offensive line that gives them holes. But again, it does go back to Breeze in that passing game and setting up guys for yards after the catch. He's extremely accurate. He's completing 76% of his passes, and they're not, they're an explosive offense, but they're not just running a bunch of 9 routes either.
That's 10% more than the next guy.
Yeah.
Well, they've always been a kind of a quick
not
strike
the next
offense.
guy. Actually, it's his quarterback rating. It's 10 points higher than the next person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But 76%, that's going to set a record.
In this day and age, yeah. We're going to probably see more of that.
But you know what? Guess what? Over the last 4 games, Dak has completed 70% of his passes.
Sure.
Last 4 games.
How's this team been defensively? Where's your biggest concern? Is your biggest concern third down, red zone, mental mistakes? Where's your biggest concern when you have to defend the Saints?
Oh, defend them.
Yeah, defend them. What are you worried about the most? Are you worried about your third down defense? Are you worried about your red zone defense? Are you worried about them just making you the pace that you have to play at to defend them too difficult? I'm making them sound like they're the St. Louis Rams of 1999, but they put up numbers.
They're putting up those kind of numbers.
They might be.
Yeah, they're putting up crazy numbers. But if you're the Cowboys, what's the one area that you can't afford a breakdown in?
Run defense.
So you're saying if they get it going with those two guys, that it's going to be hard to stop them offensively?
Yes. Because third down's not going to be very big if they're running the ball well.
God, remember that game we went to? And they had like 38 first downs. That game at the Superdome.
They set records that day.
Yeah, that is the worst I've ever been a part of a team, or being a part of a team, and watching that was as disheartening as they were averaging 10 yards a play, I think.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned first downs. I was just looking at their first downs.
Yeah.
And they've got 282 first downs on the season. The Cowboys have 211. And I was trying to figure out, kind of getting a gauge statistically about their pass run mix. They have 159 first downs, passing, 99 rushing. Dallas has 111 passing and 84 rushing.
Yeah.
It's a much closer mix there.
So what's their third down conversion percentage?
I don't have it in front of me.
Well, you had the stats there.
Well, I don't have that stat here.
Oh, wait, I got it.
I just, I worry about them. I worry about Dallas losing receivers and routes. And Dallas has played pretty well, not giving up the big plays. But I just worry about the pressure that this group puts on you offensively. When you have to deal with running backs, you have to deal with some tight ends that can actually catch. And you have to deal with Thomas and those guys running routes.
I'm concerned with.
See, all of a sudden you make a stop, and the next thing you know, it's a big play. And then, then you don't make a stop. Now it's a big play, and you just never are comfortable playing these guys.
So this is what I was afraid of. Their third down conversion percentage is 47%.
Yeah.
That's almost 50.
Well, the Atlanta Falcons were high. The Atlanta Falcons, when the Cowboys played the Falcons, the Falcons were, I think, leading the league at 50% or damn near 50%. And that's hey, getting stops in this game. I don't care where they are. You make them punt. Of course, it's a win, but how many times can you make them punt?
Oh, that's
both teams are going to be looking at that and saying, okay, Dallas is playing well offensively. The Saints are probably thinking, okay, how many times can we make them punt?
Last 3 games, Cowboys third down percentage 50%.
Yeah.
First 8 games, I think it was like 33.
Yeah, it's terrible.
There
was a time there was 23, I think, at one time.
Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah. They're sustaining drives too. So, but they haven't topped. They've topped 30 points twice this year.
Let me ask you this: everybody wants to say game plan, hold the ball away. I've seen teams hold the ball and lose too.
We had a mailbag question about that this morning. You can't play keep away against teams. You can't play scared.
You can't play keep away if you don't score. You don't finish. If you don't finish, you're not going to win. I don't care how long you hold the football.
Jason Garrett was asked about that yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago, and he said, you just got to – it doesn't matter how long the drive is. Just sustain the drive however long it takes to score points.
Touchdowns.
And now, preferably, would you like to have some 7-minute drives and 8-minute drives
as
and
long
finish
as
them with
you
touchdowns?
score.
Sure.
As long as you score.
But they'll take a 90-yard touchdown pass to Amari Cooper, too.
They played 11 games. Guess how many punts they're averaging per game?
Well, just over
0.5.
2 because Thomas Morstead has 24 punts on the season.
Very good.
Oh, really?
You just looked it up.
Oh, did you?
Is that a league low?
So
I said 0.5.
Yes, he doesn't.
2 point.
He averages over 40. He averages 46.5 yards a punt, but he doesn't qualify among the league leaders because he doesn't have enough punts.
I think there's
24 punts.
I think they've had 3 games where they haven't punted. I think I'm right.
He's got the best job in the NFL.
Well, right now he does.
Doesn't have to go out there.
Yeah. I just there's. All right, let me ask you this.
Deep snapper too, by the way.
More concern. Should the Saints be more concerned? What should the Saints be concerned about? Let's focus on what they should be concerned about.
And they've got like the number 1 rated rush defense in the league, but a lot of that is because the teams are playing from behind.
We've seen what other team did we play this year that somebody else
Detroit.
had? Detroit was the same way.
Yeah. Exactly.
They've got the same problem that these other teams have had.
Jacksonville.
Same way.
What do we do with Amari Cooper?
You say the Saints have to. So you pick your poison. You're going to try and stop Zeke from running the football, or are you going to stop Amari Cooper?
Right.
Which one? You're Dennis Allen. We have this discussion now. It seems a lot.
LD Bells, Dennis Allen.
Yeah.
You know who their third leading rusher is in attempts?
Hill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's another problem.
Yeah. There's another problem.
32-174.
Yeah, that's a snap. That Rex snap to him and run.
He's a tough guy.
That's almost 6 yards a
how about
carry.
this? I was watching the Minnesota game. They tried this. Is a great play. They had a reverse. They were going to run a 4th and 1. They were going to run a toss going left, but they tossed him the ball going back to the right, and everybody's flowing to the left. But Drew Brees kind of sneaks out, and they're going to throw him the ball on 4th and 1. They're going to try and throw a throwback to so. Yeah, Sean Payton, he's being a little cute there for that TV game. Get ready.
This is a TV game.
No.
This is the Cowboys.
Get ready. Yeah, he's going to do something cute this game. Get ready.
Yeah. Hey, Horace in Atlanta has been holding. Horace, you're on Talkin Cowboys.
Grant?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, guys. Yeah, I'm concerned mostly with them throwing the ball deep and hitting our safeties. I mean, we've given up big plays, especially against Seattle. Our safeties have been exposed a couple of times. I think Brian is right about trying to put in another corner or something to cover Kamara because I think he might expose Jalen. I mean, Jalen has been good. Don't get me wrong, but he hasn't been as good as Van Der Esch. He's gotten lost a couple of times in games. But the thing that I'm really concerned about mostly is that it's going to come down to coaching. I don't think that our coaching can stack up against theirs. And I say that because I think that our team can play with them. I think we have the talent. I really don't expect, and I heard you guys mention that you're expecting Taco to be back. Look, Taco is not affecting the game. He got a sack because he was unblocked, and he has 1 sack this season. So I don't expect him to play a big role. But we need DeMarcus Lawrence. I would much rather have David Irving playing than Taco. But I really think that we are going to need better coaching. And I think, and the point I really wanted to make was I wanted to ask you guys, At what point will this front office and this staff realize that Dak won't grow until you get him a great coach to coach him as far as I know, Brian, you've been very critical of Dak over the season, and I know Nick Eatman has been as well. But I think that's kind of unjustified because he has been there on raw talent and not really had the coaching that a lot of elite players get. I think that they need to take the next step. So I'm wondering when will he get that coaching?
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. The last 3 weeks, not better offensively for Dak, better for coaching, better for those things?
I think better for offensive line. I mean, it's been a blessing that, unfortunately, the gentleman had to get hurt for them to put in.
Horace?
Yeah.
Oh, we lost Horace.
He must have taken too much time.
Suafilo? Is that who he's going to say?
Yeah, he's going to talk about Suafilo.
That guy's made the difference.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have been very critical, but I think, though, that you have to give these coaches a little credit for what they've done in this winning streak, though. I think the offense looks different, I think Mickey's been right. I mean, you get better players around the guy. I'm not going to sit there and hang this one on Kellen Moore, and let's, me in coaching, low hanging fruit, I think they've been more creative with some of the stuff, the scheme stuff. They've had better execution, done a better job of blocking. They've done a better job of catching the football, done a better job of manipulating first downs on third downs. They've done a better job in the red zone. They've just done a better job overall.
How many passes do you think Drew Brees has thrown? Just take a guess. 11 games.
I'm going to say he averages 30. He's overthrown over
30
3
a game.
30
right?
a game.
356.
Yeah, there you go.
Now take a guess how many times he's been sacked.
I'm going to say he's been sacked 11 times.
Anybody else?
That sounds good.
10.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
All right.
Now.
So is that coaching? That offensive line is playing awfully well.
They are doing well.
And I bet Dak's, and I know everybody's saying, he holds the ball too long.
Yeah.
What has he been sacked? Like 32 times?
Is most in the league?
More than that.
It's up there.
No, it's 36. It was 32 going into the game.
So we're now ahead of the
week.
Giants and Arizona and those people?
I think it's right up there.
So he's been sacked.
Looked like he was going to get sacked 8 times the other day.
38 times.
Right. Yeah.
38. All right.
But I'd like to know what has been the sack numbers the last 3 weeks.
It's
4,
It was
4
last week.
So are we averaging 4 a game? Is that what we're averaging?
He's taking some sacks
4 in the
last
first
2 weeks.
half last week.
And then 0 the second
0
half.
the second
and
half.
that's,
Keep talking and I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
But I like I say
5-4-2-4.
See,
So 5 against Tennessee, 4 Philadelphia, 2 Atlanta, 4 Washington.
Yeah.
So he's playing well, but that's 15 sacks in 4 games.
Yeah.
In 4.
Yeah.
That's
the guy's
nearly
been
4 a
sacked
game.
10 in 11 games.
Oklahoma math. Boomer.
That's right. All right, we continue with more Talking Cowboys in just a moment.
If you're like me and you love... if you have a thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract, just...
Get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
It's time for tailgating with the OtterBox boys.
The OtterBox that builds those crazy protective phone cases?
Yup, and now they're changing the side dish game with the OtterBox Trooper Soft Cooler. Lightweight, mobile, and leak-proof, Trooper is perfect for blitzing a crowded parking lot with a Frito pie.
Amazing. Hey, you think I could fit my 7-layer salmon salad into the Trooper cooler?
Yup, but please don't.
And that's been Tailgating with the OtterBox boys. Learn more about the Trooper soft coolers at otterbox.com.
While a player can look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
It can be hard to find the right resource for learning about important financial matters. You search how to build savings, you end up reading about the one weird ingredient from supermarkets that can make you taller. That's why Bank of America built BetterMoneyHabits.com, a safe little corner of the internet for answering your financial questions. Full of simple videos and tips, Better Money Habits can show you how to make the most of your money without resorting to random searches that always seem to lead to unbelievable photos of childhood stars grown up. To learn more, visit BetterMoneyHabits.com.
Essilor has been helping Cowboys fans see better since 1972 so they don't miss a moment on the field. Get glasses with Essilor's best vision, clarity, and protection with the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package. 3 innovative technologies in one lens. For a limited time, you can double your lenses for free when you purchase the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package and get a second pair of frames. Find a participating eye care professional and details by visiting EssilorUSA.com. That's EssilorUSA.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Want to use what the pros use? Jack Black is the official men's skincare brand of your Dallas Cowboys. Get your Jack Black Playmaker, and it's online called The Playmaker. 4 JB faves plus a full-size lip balm for just $10 and free shipping. So if you go to getjackblack.com, use the code Cowboys. I looked it up last night, and this is very accurate. You can get the Playmaker for $10, free shipping. So there.
And what's involved? What's in the Playmaker?
I didn't memorize it. It was the skin. It was the skin moisturizer, beard lube,
face wash,
aftershave, and the
turbo wash.
The face cleanser.
I'm naming all their products.
Face cleanser.
They're all great.
Yeah.
Seriously, like
And
an old dude
and-
like me, you need face wash, man. I mean, my gosh.
And you get the other one, the lip balm, free.
Yeah.
Kent is on point with those drops today. I love it.
Kent
Garrison.
There's nothing better than the Miles Austin.
There's-
Kim, one more time on the Miles Austin, please.
Registration for holiday youth camps is now open. One-day camps are available for both Dallas Cowboys Football Academy and Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders Dance Academy at the Star in Frisco. Spots are limited, so register today at dallascowboys.com/academy.
Sounds like a good Christmas gift.
One quick thing about Miles, and hey, he's a little topical because he had a great game in that 2009 game they won at New Orleans.
There you go.
That drop is a product of he's such a nice guy. He never wanted to say anything that would become a explosive headline,
Yep.
because he just followed
Perfect
T.O.
Perfect Jason Garrett player.
Yeah, just wanted to, and he would get kind of asked a loaded question and anyway, that's why the drop is so great.
I thought maybe you remembered what the question was.
I don't.
When he did that.
I don't. But, are you frustrated with your targets, all that kind of stuff? He would kind of brush it off.
By the way, I saw the Patrick Creighton Legend Show last. Is that a production of us?
Yes, it
okay.
is.
Did you have a hand in that?
Nick did that.
Okay. I like that. Patrick Creighton was an undervalued player here. I thought he had a good career here. In fact, there was a soundbite from you on the show basically saying that same thing. I like Patrick Creighton.
And guess what? You're going to get to talk to him in a week from Wednesday.
Because he's going to be on the Cowboys Legend Show?
That's exactly right.
All right.
We
Very
had him on the
good.
pregame
I have
show.
no idea.
He came to Atlanta for the game just as a fan. Had him on the pregame show. And yeah, that was a good piece on him. He gets remembered too much, I think, for the Giants game.
Yeah, and that's what you pointed out on the piece last night that it aired on Fox Sports Southwest last night.
But, a 7th-round pick who developed into a starting receiver for this team, he had a good career. Had a good career.
He did, yeah.
And set your DVRs because that thing shows about 11 or 12 times.
Yep. And
before we get to the next
good player, and what I liked about him was his attitude. I just liked he was a tough guy. Those DeSoto kids are tough guys.
Sure are.
And he kind of typified that and came out of Northwest Oklahoma State.
Right.
And made himself into an NFL player.
Yep.
All right. Turnovers, okay? The Saints, the last 9 games, have turned it over just 5 times, okay? Has a lot to do with those 10 sacks on the season that they've given up. Only 10.
That's where turnovers start in the pocket, Rod Marinelli.
That's him.
Their first 2 games, they lost to Tampa Bay in the season opener 48-40. They actually took a 7-0 lead in that game and then got outscored by Fitzmagic 48-17 through the end of the third quarter and scored 16 in the fourth to make it look closer at 48-40.
See, this is what scares me. Even, we talk about build a lead, double-digit leads and all that. The way this guy plays, that's I mean,
no lead is safe.
Yeah, you're sitting there thinking, okay, there's a minute 20 left. Oh, Cowboys got this one, and you're thinking, when you play Drew Brees, it's please let those 3 zeros hit because you just don't know.
Kind of like playing Rodgers.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, just like that.
No,
You're
not wrong.
He's got a minute 12 on the clock. That's too much time.
I hate playing these guys.
Too much time.
I hate playing
it's
these.
like last year when we said, imagine they scored 30 points in those games and they lost 2 of them when they scored 30. Imagine scoring 40 and getting beat.
Mm-hmm. Imagine
and it
scoring
happened to the
72 and getting
Cowboys.
beat.
What was it? 48 when they lost to when they lost to Denver.
Yeah.
51-48.
He's got 2 interceptions, right?
Right. 29 touchdowns and 2 picks.
That's wrong.
And
how does that happen?
I'm trying to think. I saw one of the interceptions. I forgot who it was against. I was watching film. What game did he have an interception in here? It just recently was it Atlanta? Did Atlanta pick him off in this last game?
I think it was.
I'm sorry. I was like, I've watched Atlanta, Minnesota. I'm just trying to watch people that might
against Atlanta last game he had one.
Yeah. I just it's hard to.
Which is why they only got 31 points that game.
Was he PO'd because he got picked off?
Let me ask you this: are the Cowboys capable of playing a perfect game?
A perfect game?
A perfect game.
No, because I don't think anybody is, and they're not.
We sound
perfect.
like we're making this team that wears the Florida Lee on their helmet. They play perfect games. We're making that sound like they are.
They were almost perfect against Detroit, weren't they?
Cowboys.
But here's what can't happen.
I don't. Go ahead.
Here's what can't happen. 1st and goal at the 4 and you end up with a field goal, which has happened in 2 consecutive weeks.
You got to cash in there.
Yeah.
You can't turn it over, and you need to find a way to get the ball from them. Now, maybe it's not an interception. You said it starts in the pocket. They had a couple. I go back to this 09 game. Okay, but this was a team that was putting up 36 points a game back then, too. They got 2 sack strip fumbles against him then. That's how you're going to get the ball from him. It's got to be a D-loss special in this game, probably.
Undefeated, too.
You're going to have to affect him that way. Because he's not going to hand it to you in the passing game.
Okay, then what I'm asking then is we don't think they can play a perfect game? I mean perfect in the way of, like Mickey says, when you get down the red zone, score touchdowns, not give up huge chunk plays. Get a turnover.
Yeah, plus
not
turnover
have a 50-yard kickoff return against you,
Last 4 games, I looked it up yesterday. They've had 8 possessions, 1st and goal, and they've only scored 4 touchdowns. Only scored 4 times. The other were field goals. That can't happen against
Mickey,
this team.
that's a gut punch stat right there.
Cannot happen.
The Saints, the last 5 games, you know how many sacks they've given up? The last 5 games. Which they've scored 30, 45, 51, 48, and 31 points.
Can't be very many because he's only been sacked.
One sack. They went a 4-game stretch without giving up a sack, and then Atlanta got to him one time.
Yeah. And Atlanta's really not known for rushing the pass. Well, except for last year, but they didn't. Dallas held them to 2. Dallas will give up 2 sacks against them. What does that tell you?
Yeah.
I think this team puts so much pressure on you, and I use the word perfect.
I know what you mean.
But in reality, you can't afford a muff punt or a holding penalty on a 12-yard run.
You're not talking about Dak going 30 for 30.
I'm not talking about Phillip Rivers numbers where he's 25 and 25.
You can't hand him anything.
Give him an extra possession.
You give them, you fumble the ball, you get a holding call on a screen. You get off the field on 3rd down, but Anthony Brown gets called for illegal hands to the face.
You can't have a sloppy game.
No, you can't. That's how you really. This team puts. I keep saying this. They put so much pressure on you not to make a mistake, and they force you into mistakes.
That's why if you win the toss, you better take the ball. Do not give them the ball.
Think so?
Don't give them an
so
extra
you don't,
possession.
You don't defer?
You don't defer and try to
because they're going to
gain
take
a possession
the ball. You're
at
going
the
to be
other
down.
half. You don't have
7-0. You want to be down 7-0.
You know what?
Do you want to take the chance of having them have a scoring possession at the end of the first half and a scoring possession at the beginning of the second half?
At the end of the first half?
Well, but they've got to do a pretty good job of managing that clock.
Well, then they can have the ball at the beginning of the game, at the end of the half.
Do you know what the number is for number of deferred at the second half? So I heard this. I heard the stat. You know what the number is now for coaches that?
What percentage?
What the percentage is on that?
89.
95.
Yep.
95% of the coaches in the league
are now deferring.
Now deferring to the second.
I'm not deferring anything.
Mickey's
to them.
playing the 5% rule.
Against them, absolutely.
You got faith in this defense to hold them at 30 or under? I mean, do you think that
they hold them to under 30? They got a shot to win this game.
I agree. And I looked it up. I mean, this is stats, right? But there's two teams that are statistically are better defenses that the Saints have played. That's it.
Minnesota, one of them?
Minnesota and Baltimore, who leads the
Yeah.
league. And I think it was 30 and 24 points allowed, respectively. If you can, in that area, the way your offense is playing, I think you got a chance.
Okay, here's the stat. Here's the stat I want. If I take the ball first, I want to know who gets the most possessions in a game.
Okay.
Somebody go find that. Next gen, folks.
Yeah.
There it is. Get off my lawn, PFF.
I take the ball first in a game. Do I end up with more possessions, or do they come out equal?
It's like tic-tac-toe. Who goes first usually wins.
Oh,
Douglas
jumping.
Douglas Barraclough.
Is that a drop? That was very aggressive.
That was very violent, almost too.
I've said that before.
You
want to bet your salary on making that play call?
Brian, you got 1 minute.
Do you play with the home? Do you try with the home defense though, Mickey, to get the stop?
Yeah.
Do you play? You play with the noise factor?
I don't.
I saw
have
noise
an extra
affect a game the
possession.
other day at Kyle Field. I saw noise affect a game. I'm hopeful that now the problem is you're in a 50-50 stadium likely this Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
You're like Mickey might be right. Taking the ball, it might not matter because those Saints fans might be just as loud as your fans when you have the ball.
And you know what? The away team, they don't get in their seats late.
Yeah.
Because they got no place to go, usually tailgate,
Yeah,
right? They're anxious to, if you look at the Cowboys when they're on the road, their fans are in the stadium first.
Yeah.
Just saying.
This will be a 50-50 game.
Do not give them the ball first. Why would you put yourself behind 7-0?
Because in the second half, when they get the ball,
What if they get a 2-minute drive before the half and then they got that in their back pocket?
So what if I get a 2-minute drive?
That would be nice. That would be nice. That means you're in the ball game.
What's the win streak when they're deferring?
They're the last three. They've had two defers.
They've deferred, right?
But they weren't playing the Saints.
Philadelphia and
Well, they had
Atlanta.
Atlanta
They
and
deferred.
Philly.
They deferred both.
They weren't playing the Saints.
I put the confidence in my defense right there and say, look, we trust you guys. Let's start this thing
But
off
they
right.
can't score if I got the ball. You hope, right?
No, they just wait 3 plays.
Well, then fine. Then fine.
They get the ball. I'm just kidding.
But they've got to wait 3 plays.
I think Rob's onto something. You hold these guys under 30. You keep this 28 or under. I think they got a shot to win.
They got an opportunity.
I think they do.
Yes.
You can't let this thing get in the 30s or 40s. I mean, of course, it gets that. It's going to be a 34-17 game if that happens.
All right. Y'all will be talking Cowboys again tomorrow. I got TV duties tomorrow.
I got to tell them to go cover this guy with a cornerback.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Jordan Lewis. All right. We'll talk at you again tomorrow on Talking Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?